Hello everyone, this is Dr. Pete, and I was just looking at some feedback from a course I just recently taught, and overall some good stuff. Love the feedback in the sense that it gave some constructive stuff with the course design that we can work with, and then also some things about how feedback works and videos and all that. So that's where you want to be when it comes to feedback. Is we can learn something, but at the same time reinforce what's good and try to change some things over time when we see a pattern to do. One thing that stood out to me was one of the students had made a comment about video usage and feedback, and how basically the bottom line is, I don't think the grade went the way they wanted it to, but they don't want to take the time to review feedback. They said, who has time to watch or do feedback? And I felt that was kind of interesting. I feel kind of sad for the student in a way, because they don't really get what education's about. It's not a checklist, which I've done a video about, but it's about the idea that they're so busy that they can't possibly look at feedback or watch feedback or read feedback. They're just too busy. So they checklist their degree. They already know it all. They already got it all. They're just too busy. And when I read that, it really kind of disappointed me in a lot of ways, because I really felt like that student's not getting what they want. They pay good money to be educated, and then they just kind of throw it all away, or most of it. Let me say it that way. So that was disappointing. But that's out of all the good feedback that was there, that was just one student that has a larger educational issue that we can't deal with. But what's interesting too about feedback is, a number of students will not look at feedback until it is too late, meaning they go, well, I'm getting good grades. I really don't care if I'm getting feedback. I'm here to tell you, it's very few students that do such a great job that they can never, ever improve on anything. And I find that interesting. Is like, even if I wrote a paper today, or my bosses or their bosses, there's always room to improve. There's always some type of something that needs to be fixed, worked on, whatever. So what I'm going to suggest to you is, even when you get a good grade, take time and look at that feedback, because there's probably something that the professor may not have graded off, or maybe a little bit, but the next one might grade off a lot more. Like, I might think that this is really important and this one's not so important, but then the next time the professor says, hey, that is important. That could be timeliness or sources or whatever, it doesn't matter. So take the time to look at that. Even when you get 100, there should be some level of feedback. If you get a really good A or a B, make sure that you say, okay, what did this professor see good at what I did? What can I work on? And that can help you develop all the way through. Because if you work on those things as you go, then when you get that professor that does think it's important, it's not a big wall that you're hitting. And that's very, very important in my mind. So I think overall, I think most students get that. I think most professors get it. But it's very important to take that time and learn from that professor what they think is important. And that's part of education too. Everybody stresses something different. Everybody focuses on something. Some focus on things more, some on less. But it's very important to get all those bits and pieces, and they all come together to make your education. And remember, you're paying for it. And even if someone else is paying for it, it's your time. So I don't know how your time's what it's worth to you, but it's worth a lot to me. So make the most of it. And, even a bad professor, you can get something out of them. But if you have a good one that really does care, then get the most out of them as possible. And really expand that part of your education as much as you can. But that feedback's very important. So I appreciate it, and best of luck.